We have a long drive contest coming up with A.J. Pierzynski of the Boston Red Sox. And I tell you what, you want to hit it long, you want to hit it straight as well, Big. What do you think of Paul's words of wisdom?
I love his tip, actually, Damon. I tell you what, I feel like good players think first how they want to use the club on the ball, and then they try to find tips in their body to help them do that. And I think sometimes amateurs get the other way around, where they try to make their body do something, hoping that it makes the club run into the ball the way they want it to. And so that's why I like what he talked about. And I think one thing when you start hitting drivers, the average person tries to hit the driver the hardest. Well, because it's the longest club in your bag and it's teed up, the club is moving faster than any other club, which means you need to be more efficient than any other club. And that's where I think the first thing you need to have is good balance. Good footwork and good balance. You can't do what Paul was talking about if your feet and your body's flying all over the place. You've got to stay steady with your feet, good balance, so you can control what the club is doing down there. Now, one more, what Paul was talking about there, having the club stabilize through the ball so it's working down here. If you get the club working, as he said, back behind the hands like this, or you get over this way, which is so typical of so many amateurs. Now, if you're a little bit a better player, sometimes better players have the opposite problem. They'll go this way and they'll drop it in here. And that's what you hear good players talk about, being stuck. The club drops behind the hands. Now you're going to run into the balls back here that he put behind the ball. Vijay Singh uses a similar drill that he does. He'll put big water bottles on either side of the golf ball. If his ball is here, he'll have a big water bottle here, and actually hit full shots with those water bottles right there to make him keep the club on the path that he's trying to work through the ball.
You helped me with my that S word earlier today. What would you give me as a tip right now going into, say, a long drive contest, or what a lot of people do in a skins game is they try to outdrive their partners, because at that point the longest drive wins, right? What should I be thinking about going into this contest?
Well, having watched you hit some balls earlier when you were warming up, I noticed that you had quite a bit of slide going on in your swing. Slide, lateral motion, is slow motion if you're trying to hit it far. If you want to hit it far, you got to have a lot of rotation, which we're going to see AJ here in a few minutes. He's going to have some fabulous rotation. Big time in his golf swing. And so what I did with you in there, and I'd tell you now, is maybe to narrow your stance just a little bit and let yourself turn through the ball instead of sliding towards your target so much, and that'll speed you up just a little bit. And at the same time, as Martin Hall said, you want to keep the hands nice and soft, because tight hands are slow muscles are slow club head speed. You want to keep it nice and free and easy. And this is a tip we did at the Nicholas Flick Golf Schools with Mike Malaska. Also, if you're going to hit it far, we take the club like this and make circles with your driver. When we do that, it softens. Feel what that does to your wrists and hands when you make circles like that. It softens everything up, and that lets it really swing.
Already today, we welcomed LPGA Tour Commissioner Michael Wan, and on deck for us, pardon the pun, is A.J. Pierzynski of the Boston Red Sox, the catcher who is going to hit some big drive for us later in the show. Now, Phil, you were just helping us with our driver a moment ago. Sandra Gall, 6 feet tall. You're a man, stands 6'7". Do you guys have similarities in the way you swing the club? What do you like about Sandra's swing?
Well, she has very nice rhythm in her golf swing, first off. You notice that she looks very tall, set up over the golf ball, and when she swings it back, watch how long her backswing is. Really wide. There it actually stopped. A couple of pictures I've seen, she's way past parallel, so there she'd shorten it up a little bit. When you're a little taller, what you have to do is you try to match up. We heard Michelle Wee talking about that last week, trying to get the club in front of the body, trying not to let the body outrace everything else. And I'm sure that's kind of one of the main things, and we'll hear that tomorrow, one of the main things she works on is trying to get her swing to match up. But the one thing that's very important if you're tall, you have to have good footwork. You got to have good rhythm, and she has both. And for that reason, she's a spectacular player.
And obviously, you guys are in a special category with your height. What about the rest of us who might be, 5'8" to 5'10", or maybe even shorter than that? What's the best driving tip that you can give us to help us keep it under control?
Well, the smash factor, which measures your launch, consistent launch, the spin rate. One thing, I tell you what, technology has come so far these days, Kelly, that you can sit there and go get matched out and get the driver that fits you. So you're not trying to make a golf swing that matches your driver. The driver matches your golf swing, because you want every swing in your bag to be the same on every club. We're not good enough players to have 14 different golf swings. We want to have one swing. So get fit for a driver that take advantage of today's technology that gets the numbers to maximize both your control and your distance, I think that's the first step.
And this works for people under 5 feet tall as well, like our own Gary Williams?
It works for everybody.